Hello, my name is Larry Grimm, and welcome to Live Connections TV and to my program, This Is My Passion. I love to interview people who have a passion and who are willing to express that passion and want to share it with the world in which we live and have its impact on people. I think this is the best way to do it, to give a chance for people to be seen, to have their personality come across, and for you, the audience, to be able to kind of get the feeling for who they are. So welcome to this show, and welcome to my very first opportunity to interview someone who's having a tremendous impact on people's lives. And that's Mary Chambers. Mary Chambers, who is the CEO of Monumental Moments and Coaching Ninjas, and has invested a lot of her life in caring about people. Hello, Mary. Welcome.
Hello, Larry.
This is my passion.
Welcome. Yes, and I see that passion running right through this. How amazing to see that passion. So thank you for also asking me to share mine with you.
You're welcome, Mary. And what's your mission in life? Let's start off with that. I think all of us have a kind of mission, and some of us finally get it articulated. Have you articulated your mission? What is your mission?
My mission is to be able to infuse value and worth across this planet.
Wow, the whole planet.
Well, let me stop. I'll expand it. How about the whole universe?
Okay, why not?
The reason why I say this is, right, because if we're all one and we're all connected, right, and it starts with us, and we infuse it in our lives, and then we're able to share it with others, it creates a trickle effect, right? And then ultimately, what is happening here on this planet will affect the whole universe. So yeah, I guess I would say the universe.
Wow, I really love that. I love the connectedness that you're talking about. That's something that we don't see, and we don't often have people who are really taking that as a consciousness in their own lives, and certainly not in their work. So thank you for doing that. Well, Mary, what was it how did you come to the point that you cared this much about humanity?
Well, I think it started, humanity captured my heart when I was young.
Uh-huh.
But what I know now, it's all been based on everything, my decisions, my beliefs, my ideas, my declarations that I made when I was growing up. But the other big part of that was the choice that I made coming in this lifetime.
Wow.
The soul journey.
What's a soul journey? I'm not sure my viewers will understand what a soul journey is. What are you talking about?
So we're here as humans.
Uh-huh.
That's what it appears to be. But we're actually souls living a human experience, meaning that we populate over and over through durations of time. Some people believe in reincarnation. I believe in eternity and rebirth, right?
Okay.
So through that process, we take on lifetimes. And through those lifetimes, there's karma. Some people would say that. There's experiences that we come in. And then eventually when we pass or we croak, we have a life review. Through that life review, we're able to determine, was that life valuable? Was it worthy? Was it done? Do we want to come back, or are we done and we want to stay in the light world? So when we come back, there's things that we decide in our soul life before we populate into this human experience that we're supposed to complete on this planet. But we haven't been taught that. We've been taught, be human, find work, go get a job, do what you got to do, make money, and then live, and then die. Well, more importantly, it's, yes, all of those, plus find what your soul purpose is. Find out what your passion is. Listen to your soul, because ultimately, it's going to win one way or another.
Mm.
And when we don't listen to our soul and we start listening to our head and our ego will kill us if we let it go enough. But more importantly is if we don't listen to our soul, we go through life situations, kind of like how we'll talk about here as we talk about some of my fun experiences. But more importantly, when we understand what our life is about and the reasons why we've made those choices, those decisions, the more we embrace it and love it and see it as blessings. But until we get through that soul work, and that's part of what we do, we kind of run around disoriented. We have one of our mentors that we read with Napoleon Hill's Outwitting the Devil. He says, I got 80% of the population in the book. Well, that's the indecisive. That's the wavering. That's not listening to our heart. That soul is listening to the ego that doesn't want you to do anything beside be.
Well, that's curious. This whole idea that you introduce of a soul journey and decisions that my soul makes before incarnation introduces a whole new wrinkle to the nature-nurture conversation, because we discuss people in terms of what's their nature and what's their nurture. We come into the world and we're nurtured through the life, but what about the nature that we bring with us? And you're suggesting that our souls have made some impact on where we're going to go in this life, and that the nature of our being has to do in part with the soul journey, with that soul decision. Am I right? Am I hearing you correct?
You absolutely.
Fascinating. So, so what do you think was your soul decision coming into this life?
Well, I know that I was blessed with a very loud voice.
Yes.
And I've used it many times. I think it started when I was young, especially, watching movies and seeing how they treated Indians and seeing how other cultures were treated. And even in my experience of some of the challenges that I experienced through my life, I've always had a passion. I've always had a deep connection to the soul in people. And the more that I saw the tyranny, the more I vibed it and thought it in my head and created the tyranny in my life, the more as I started expressing and starting my journey to understanding who I was, the more I was inclined to make a difference.
I see.
And I think it started with animals when I was little, and
Sure.
Being a rescuer and wanting to be able to rescue everybody and everything in every situation. But there were some situations that I know now that I didn't know then, that also created those adverse situations that still led me on this journey. And I remember one time I said in 1980, I think it was 1986, I met Zig Ziglar for the first time, and I'm like, I'm going to be like him. A couple of years later, when I was going through a lot of adverse situations there, I looked up to God one day and I said, if I have to go through all of this adversity to be like that, I don't know if I want this job. But then slowly I recanted that statement. I said, I just need to know how to do it greater.
There you go. Oh, wow. So you started off with a kind of giftedness for compassion, it sounds like.
Exactly.
So you had early on in your life compassion for animals, but then as that broadened to compassion for people who were subjected to tyranny and for their suffering. So what came of your life beyond that? What were some of the ways in which you developed this?
So if you were to say, what was it that really started on a personal level, I would say I've experienced many forms of abuse, female discrimination, oppression, multiple marriages, and a separation in my family. Now, if you were to say on the professional side of that, I've encountered opportunities for scenarios, making ends meet. I mean, it was always working multiple jobs, finding ways of always being able to survive. Yeah. Then I was becoming a single, a parent through a divorce. going and then seeking the education only to accumulate more debt. I worked for businesses and then in corporate cultures that were ranged anywhere from emotional imbalance, high level emotion and dramatic, to the fabulous male dominant world of discrimination, dictatorship, and inequality.
Wow. Well, wasn't that quite a life of struggle and bad choices and crazy decisions on your part?
Somebody could say that. Somebody who's not connected to the soul purpose, somebody who's there to see the stigmas of life and not what is real, but those who understand and honor truth and really understand that it's about our soul journey and it's about our connection to God, the universe, and the infinite intelligence, will sit there and go, holy cow, what an awesome opportunity you had to go through those situations, to be able to see what you didn't like in life so that you can make a difference.
You're saying each one of those, what we would perhaps call failures, or each one of those struggles you now see was an opportunity?
Absolutely. Because here's the thing, when you start listening to yourself and you start knowing yourself, or you're around a group of supportive people and people that believe in you, that's what's real. All of the other stuff, that failure is not failure. It's only part of our mistakes. If we're not able to make mistakes in life, how are we supposed to learn? And then the greatest part about this, Larry, is we learn, as everyone's teachers. We're all teachers. We're all just here at different forms, different situations, different aspects, different skill set, different gifts. We're all unique individuals, and we all have a purpose and a place here on this planet.
Uh-huh.
In a mission to complete.
Uh-huh.
But if we don't tune in and tap in and turn on to that, we end up dying with a lot of regret, a lot of remorse, a lot of anger, bitterness, ugliness, because I've worked with elderly as well, and I saw a lot of that happen. And it saddens my heart. That part, when you see people treating people less than kind,
mm-hmm.
that in itself is grief and sadness, because I want everybody to be happy. I want everybody to be excited about their life.
Yeah.
I want people to see some of those mistakes as ways of lessons that they learn, not as failures, because when people told me that I failed, it shut me down and I stopped. I gave up on myself.
Mm-hmm.
Listening to other people, listening to other projections and beliefs that were not even true. And then you go struggle, well, I need to do more, I'm not enough. I need to do more, I'm not enough. I need to do more, I'm not enough. All because of the sake of all of the false premises that are not true.
Wow. So you've accumulated a list of negative impact on you that have come really from people's perceptions of your experience and their judgments. Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah, if I listened to everybody else and followed what they told me to do and lived under their conditions that were not conducive to me or aligning to who I am and my gifts and my talents, and I'm just showing up for them and showing up for them every day, now I show up for me. Yeah. I love me. I love what I do. I love my work. Yeah. So,
Mary, you used the term contrast, and that through this journey there was some contrast. What do you mean by contrast?
Well, if instead of saying negative or things are bad, because nothing's bad unless you believe it to be, right? There are situations and circumstances that may not be pleasant.
Right. Very
and that
true.
may be painful. And that may sure. And we could go down a list of every human emotion on this on it within us, because God's blessed us with every single one of them.
Uh-huh.
But when contrast comes in, that's just another way of understanding things that are less than positive. And that can turn us in a different direction and create chaos or create discomfort or disharmony. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, I'm thinking about the mountains, because I love the mountains. here in Colorado, and I have noticed that when I look at the mountains, especially at noon, when the sun is right overhead, they look flat. But in the mornings or in the evenings, when the sun's at an angle, you can see the shadows, and the shadows kind of give a dimension to the beauty.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I'm hearing is that's the contrast, that some of these experiences that each of us has had that's been painful, disappointing, quote, failures, help give beauty to our own lives.
Right.
Now, do I also use those in some way? I mean, the contrast.
That's what elevates us, Larry. We can, don't think I didn't have a piss poor attitude for many years. I mean, I dragged myself through the dirt, not knowing, not understanding it. I wasn't combated with the success, knowledge, in some of the different tools that I have now.
Uh-huh.
And had I had those tools and a different mindset and different ways of handling those experiences, it would have been more consistent.
Mm-hmm.
And so because I've been able to harness that
Mm-hmm.
and be able to really empower that in my life, I want to be able to help empower that in other people.
Yeah, great. You mentioned the community that gives us feedback. I want to go to your, may I go to your website here?
Absolutely.
And share this with everybody. This is Monumental Moments Incorporated. And so speak a little bit about coaching for us. What is Monumental Moments?
So when I started Monumental Moments 4 years ago, it was wanting to create the monumental moments in people's life. Well, first, again, if we go back to what we're teaching, it all starts with us. We are fully accountable for every thought, feeling, emotion, whatever in our life. And so when I first started discovering my passion was I wanted to create those monumental moments. So that's why I named it the company that I did. It's about being able to create that balance. Mm-hmm. So through the process and the creation over the last 4 years, it's growing from just becoming a master coach to now we have our leadership development programs. We have a coaching certification program. We do the one-on-one coaching. We have other coaches that are part of our Ninja team that is part of our Coaching Ninjas website that is that we have classes for. So we provide a 21st century holistic approach into leadership education and human development.
Good. So yeah, I see you've covered the waterfront literally because your cover page has a picture of water. So, but here's the Coaching Ninjas. You can meet some of the ninjas, quote, and know your power in the classes. That's fantastic. And then right. Here is founders, become a coach yourself, leadership development. Why coaching? I think that might be among several questions several people may have.
Right.
And some testimonials here. Here's a book you've written. Let's see, it's called Move from Fear to Faith, Understanding UDT. Would you like to make a comment about that?
Absolutely. So because of a lot of the experiences in the education and my studies in human development, I also experienced that under duress, threat, intimidation had been a form of conditioning and programming that we have been experiencing over the last 70 years. That can cover anything from PTS, post-traumatic stress, any form of domestic violence, abuse, any form of stress, duress, threat, whether it's discrimination, many different things, how people would interpret it, Larry. But what gave me the passion behind this is if I could be able to help people understand what type of programming and conditioning that they have been under, it would give them the opportunity to crawl out from underneath it and be able to move into a faith-based mindset, which is a connection to God, the universal sources, and everything out there that helps us through our daily lives.
Very good. So under duress, threat, and intimidation is one of those shadow experiences, those contrasts that we don't often, that we sometimes think we have to suffer through. If you want to help people climb out from under it and get life. Cool.
Yeah.
So, Monumental Moments, friends. Go to Monumental Moments, and that's monumentalmoments.net. And under publications, you can order that book. It's downloadable for $2.99 immediately. That's great. So, Coaching Ninjas, I'm assuming when somebody goes through your coaching training, then they become available for others through this?
So this is what's exciting. So not only do our coaching coaches that are going through our certification become part of the Ninja coaching team, I do have my business partner, Jack Martin, along with our other partners, and Larry, you being one of them, along with Donna, and we have a couple of other instructors coaching. They're master coaches, instructors as well. But we've also are building a team of additional coaches, which I have many friends that are coaches out there that help people with their overcoming their daily obstacles. So I'm really excited about building this. This is still in the creation stages. We do have classes that we're going to be offering. So please come back off and on to check out in different times that each of our coaches are offering different types of classes. Well, we got a lot of exciting things in the making, and I'm not going to share that yet, Larry.
Okay. Well, that is so exciting. Those are such great opportunities for people to really to dig in and experience the benefits of a community and a people that are supportive of them in their true self, and enabling them to develop that deeper sense of self. Those soul journey decisions that they've made. That's beautiful. Wonderful. Well, that's fantastic. So, let's see, Mary. Kind of getting to the end of our interview. What kind of closing comments do you want to make for our viewers? You've done a beautiful job of sharing your passion with us. Obviously, it's easy to feel your deep conviction about this, and it's wonderful to see your clarity of understanding the process of growth that you've gone through, and that coaching is geared towards enabling people to do that themselves. Mm-hmm. So am I kind of summarizing fairly what you've said? Oh,
absolutely. The biggest thing, Larry, is we're here to evolve and expand humanity at a higher consciousness, right? We teach success consciousness, meaning it's whatever we've gone through, whoever we are, wherever we're going, we are loved. Mm-hmm. Number one, by ourselves, and if we're not, then that's why they come to us, is because a lot of people are wanting to build that. They love other people, but they really truly don't understand the love of themselves. So there's a lot of self-sabotaging, self-blocking, many different things that we keep ourselves from because we listen to other things, situations, circumstances that are not necessarily true. And so the biggest thing that I can leave for people today is be aware of what you criticize and condemn. And I really mean this because it will move out of your life no matter what. Mm-hmm. And I mean, be aware of everything that you think, that you speak, that you feel, that you say about yourself and about other people, because it will get kicked out if you don't learn how to appreciate it. So the best thing to do is to wake up every day. Number one, being blessed that you're alive, that you're breathing, that you have all your sensing faculties working. God's giving you a gift to be here today. There's a purpose and an opportunity. Find that talent and that gift that you have within your heart and in your soul, and go after it. And don't let nobody stop you doing it. Create the best life that you possibly can, because you are the co-creator, whether you believe it or not. And if there's ways that you need to find people to help you get there, because you know what? It all boils down to love, and we need each other. And it's taking all of us helping each other find that it's a personal development thing that we're all here to grow together with. But when you don't love people, that's an indicator you're not loving yourself. And when you don't have the tools that you need, find the people to help you give those tools. Because ultimately, we need each other.
That's beautiful, Mary. That's a beautiful final comment. Thank you. And I want to encourage our viewers to go to the website, monumentalmoments.net. Check out Facebook page also, and get some of the wonderful resources that are available. I'm Larry Grimm, Live Connections TV. Thank you for dropping by.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mary. It's been delightful to interview you and to experience this with you.
I thank you, and I love you, and you're amazing.
I love you too. Be well. And to all of you, share the love with yourself especially, and with one another. Bye-bye.